Daredevil Season 2, this hallway fight almost beat the hallway fight from the first season. So, if you're new to this channel and you love movies and martial arts, consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, hit that bell notification so you don't miss anything. Welcome to Fight Scene Friday, the show where we look at the fight scenes from some of your favourite movies and television shows. My name's Asten Regis, and on today's show, we're going to look at the fight scene between Daredevil and the Thugs, the Dogs of War from Season 2. Man, this fight scene almost, like I said, almost topped the fight scene from the first season. Blown away. Again, it happens in episode 2. Was it episode 2 or episode 3? I think it was episode 2. Correct me in the comment section below if I'm wrong. But wow, regardless, this fight scene was so breathtaking. Again, when you thought they couldn't top what they did in season 1, it was just so good. I mean, for me, I was looking forward to the Elektra part, the story part with the hand, with the ninjas. I was looking forward to that the most because I was looking forward to seeing a lot of ninja action. But again, this fight scene was so good. There was no, I think it was the best fight scene in the season. The same way with the hallway fight from the first season, I think was the best fight scene in the season. He has his martial arts, his kung fu, his ninjutsu, his acrobatic style, but he also has that boxing style that he learnt from his father. His dad was a boxer, so you feel that in the fights. You know, he's always throwing left hooks and straight punches. He's always got that boxer stance, even though he is a complete martial artist, and he's got that style that he learned from Stick, that kind of ninja style that he would have learned from Stick. I just love Daredevil going up against these kind of normal thugs, not necessarily martial arts ninjas, where he's doing a lot of flashy martial arts action and showing his range of skills and having to fight these highly skilled warriors. I like it when Daredevil's fighting like these everyday thugs, you know? Like, obviously, the Dogs of War, they're a biker gang. So the Punisher, who was, for me, the best thing about Daredevil Season 2, and Daredevil's one of my favourite characters, but John Berthel really brought out the Punisher. He's gonna shot up their bikes to kind of get the attention. He's trying to get Daredevil to join his philosophy of killing the criminals, and they have this brilliant philosophical kind of argument on top of the roof, and that's what most of the episode's all about. It's about, obviously, Daredevil, he doesn't want to cross the line of killing the criminals. He just wants to beat them to a pulp and have them serve justice. But Punisher's like, well, the justice system's flawed. These guys, they commit crimes and then they're on the streets. So I'm cleaning up the streets by getting rid of them, by making sure they don't come back and they can't harm anyone. Both these guys have an interesting philosophical point. The Punisher you're seeing in this episode, he's trying to push Daredevil. I mean, Matt Murdock, he has his morals, but he's trying to push him to the point that he becomes like the Punisher. And the Punisher even says to him, "You're one bad day away from being me." So he's trying to make his day a bad day. And even to the point where he had the criminal on the rooftop, and it wasn't until he confessed that he killed an old lady, and then Matt goes, "What old lady?" And then you see Punisher's face, he's kind of going, got you. You push that button. But it doesn't push Matt's button. He tries to save the guy, but Punisher manages to kill him, and then he knocks out the Punisher. So the Dogs of War coming into the building because they want to kill whoever blew up their bikes, who just blew up their bikes. So Daredevil's in a dilemma. He's got a knocked out Punisher, he's trying to get out of the building. These guys are coming to kill him. He obviously has to fight his way out. So it's kind of like, well, if you want to survive and you want me to survive, you might have to kill these guys in order to get out of this situation. But of course, Daredevil, his will, his skills, he's able to overcome. What I love about this fight is it was so good because it was a hallway fight times 3 in a way, because you got that first section in the hallway and they kind of do like a one shot, which kind of isn't a one shot because it's like they use a bit of camera trickery to edit. I like the way the fight starts, and he even shoots the gun and it's run out of bullets, and then you see him smile, kind of goes, and then he obviously uses the gun as a weapon. He uses the chain. He was tied to the roof. The Punisher tied him to the roof as a chain whip. I thought that was really good. It was a great use of improvised weapons. He's got an unloaded gun taped to one hand that the Punisher taped to his hand. He's got a chain taped to the other. So he uses these weapons. He uses the gun as an impact weapon, the chain as an impact weapon, and he's able to kind of fight his way through. And what I love about this fight scene, it goes from the hall to the staircase. And the color schemes in the fight was great because you got that red color and it gives you that kind of red Daredevil kind of look, you know. He's wearing red, he's the devil of Hell's Kitchen, and it gives you this horror kind of environment, which I felt was good, really good. That kind of happens at the end of the stairway scene, which I thought was really good. He's using the chain to like grab one of his opponents from like the top of the staircase and pull him down. He's using the gun to kind of gun butt people. And again, I just like the visceral kind of boxing style that you see in the fight, because he's fighting guys who ain't as skilled in martial arts as he is. So it's a bit more of a brawl mixed with obviously his martial arts skills. I just love Daredevil. I love the fight scenes in Daredevil. I think they really epitomise what Frank Miller did in the comics in terms of the Daredevil Man Without Fear. That was one of my favourite comics that I read. The story is just fantastic, and that kind of feel from that comic that it was really brought out in this fight. It was really brought out in this series. What I love about these fight scenes is they're very brutal, they're very raw. It feels like Daredevil, whenever he's in a fight, it feels like he could lose. It feels like he's in trouble. It doesn't feel like he's just taking on like bodies and just doing some flashy, you know, crouching tiger kind of moves. It feels like this is a guy, he knows how to fight, but even though he might be more skilled than these opponents, he's got a lot of opponents to deal with. So dealing with multiple opponents is not ideal. It doesn't end well. Obviously this is a TV show, there's a superhero quote unquote, or a vigilante heroic character, so he has to prevail. So we're seeing how he prevails, and he's struggling. You feel his struggle in the fights, and that's what I love about it. Love this fight scene, fantastic. Absolutely epitomizes who Daredevil is, and just some great action, some great visceral kind of violence in there. Great imagery, great imagery. Feels very homage to the comics and the feel of the comics. So Daredevil season 2, definitely worth checking out. Love that season. Almost as good as the first season. I don't think it was as good because it felt like 2 seasons in one, because you got the Punisher story and you've got the Elektra story with the hand, and I felt like it was 2 seasons in one, which was great because you got a lot of story arc, you got a lot of interesting character points, a lot of interesting fight scenes. I felt like season 1 was more succinct, it was more of a complete season. But that's just my opinion, it's still fantastic, I still love it. Check the link in the description below if you're interested in the season. I'll have a link of where you can get it. It's an affiliate link, so you do support the channel if you're interested. Love this fight scene, and it's definitely one for the list. Anyway, if you like this video, hit that like button, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you loved about this fight scene. Did you think it was as good? This is the main question I got for you. Did you think that this fight scene was as good as the season 1 hallway fight? Because that one is a classic. It's a classic. Everybody talks about that fight scene. This fight scene I was blown away by when I first saw it, but now I compared the two, I kind of think that season 1's fight scene was just a tiny bit better, but bravo effort on this one, because they did give you something to kind of talk about from season 2 as well. I mean, there was a lot of talking points, you know, especially the Punisher, but I love this fight scene, a fight scene that kind of almost matches the first season. But tell me what you think, that's what I want to know, that's what I'm interested in. What did you think? How does this rank in terms of Daredevil fight scenes? Anyway, I'll see you next week for another Fight Scene Friday, and remember, behind every fight is a great story. Peace!